Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I am going to talk about one of the very important experiment which is related to our analog communication or digital communication. So that experiment name is to obtain the frequency response curve for our second order Butterworth low pass filter. So I have already explained in my previous video lecture how to design a first order low pass filter of particular cutoff frequency and particular gain. So that video lecture you can refer if you have if you haven't watched it. So you can please go and refer that particular video lecture for more details about the first order filter. Now in this lecture I will be discussing about the second order Butterworth low pass filter. Okay, so as you can see in your screen, I have already made this circuit. So how to bring these components from the component library that I have already explained in my previous lectures. So just to save our time, I have already made this circuit. Okay, so you can bring each and every component which are shown over here. Like you can see it is 741 op amp, and then I have several resistors. Okay, and I have the capacitors. I have the particular connection. Okay, here I have connected the waveform generator, which is nothing but your function generator, and here I have the oscilloscope. Now we need to give the power supply to the op-amp. So I have already provided the power supply. So as you can see, the pin number 7 should be connected to plus 12 volt and pin number 4 should be connected to minus 12 volt. Now, uh, before making this circuit, okay, because we want to make the second order Butterworth low pass filter, you have to remember that in the Butterworth low pass filter, we need to follow a certain equations to satisfy the 3 dB cutoff frequencies. Okay, so let us suppose that if we want to make a second order low pass filter whose 3 dB cutoff frequency is denoted by Fc and it is of equals to 10 kilohertz. Suppose 1 kilohertz, say. Okay, if we want to make it for 1 kilohertz. So if you want to make it for 1 kilohertz and obviously because we are designing a second order low pass filter, if you go through the theories of Butterworth low pass filter design, you will find that for the second order low pass filter, the gain provided by this filter will be equals to 1.586. Okay, so whenever it is having its gain in the pass band, that pass band gain should be maximum equals to 1.586. So that gain will be decided by these two registers. You can see here it is R3 and R4. Okay, this two register is going to decide you the gain of the filter. Fine. Similarly, here you can see the cascaded structure of RC network. Okay, RC and RC. Okay, so these two resistors and capacitors combination is going to decide you about the 3 dB cutoff frequency of the filter. Fine. So you can find in any of the book that this particular filters, okay, will have its 3 dB cutoff frequency Fc that will be equals to 1 upon, it is given by this particular formula Fc equals to 1 upon root over 2 pi root over 1 upon 2 pi root over R1, R2, C1 and C2. Okay, and the gain is fixed gain, generally it is of 1.586. So accordingly we have to choose the resistance value R3 and R4 so that this gain 1 plus R3 upon R4 will be becoming 1.586. So by following this particular formula, we can uh, calculate the values of resistances R3 and R4 by choosing one of them. Fine. So we have to take any one of them, any particular value like R3 or R4, and then we can calculate the other one. Okay, by following this particular formula. Similarly, here you can see the cutoff frequency, 3 dB cutoff frequency. Fc is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi root over R1, R2, C1 and C2. So just to make it simple, what we can do is we can choose R1 equals to R2 equals to R. Okay, and similarly C1 equals to C2 equals to C. So what will be this formula? It will be like 1 upon 2 pi RC. Okay, if we choose R1 equals to R2 and C1 equals to C2, obviously it will be turn out to be 1 upon 2 pi RC. So that will be our 3 dB cutoff frequency formula. Fine. So now just by following this particular equations, okay, we have come up with this particular values. Okay, here you can see that I have chosen this R1 and R2 equals to means both resistance values are same. So these values are 150 kilo ohm and 150 kilo ohm I have taken. And this C2 and C1 I have taken again equals, okay, both the values are equal. Okay, and that value is equals to 1 nanofarad I have taken. Okay, so why I have taken these values 1 nanofarad and 150 kilo ohms? Because if you calculate the 3 dB cutoff frequency 1 upon 2 pi RC by following this formula and putting these values, okay, then you will be able to calculate this value FC 3 dB cutoff frequency will come out as your 1060 hertz. Okay, 1060 hertz you will get. So this way we can substitute any particular values as per our requirement. Based on your 3 dB cutoff frequency requirement, you can take any values. Okay, and then you can design your own circuit to satisfy your conditions, right? And here obviously, as I said, this gain should be 1.586. So you can see here it is 5.86 kilo ohm I have taken, it is 10 kilo ohm. So this ratio will become 0.586 and 1 plus 0.586 will become equals to 1.586. So that will be a fixed gain, okay, for Butterworth filter design. So after designing this circuit, after making this all proper connections, you can see how I have means connected this all elements. Okay, after connecting all these elements in a particular configuration, okay, then you can see this. I have connected the function generator over here, and here I have connected the oscilloscope. Okay, so here we can see the waveform, and from here we have to give the sinusoidal input signal. Fine. So we have to begin our if you want to get the frequency response, which is one of the very important characteristics of the filters. Okay, so if you want to get the frequency response of the low pass filter, second order low pass filter, then we have to vary the frequency from right from the 1 hertz you can say, or DC values. Okay, and then we have to we have to vary this value up to like 5 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz, depending on what is your cutoff frequency. Okay, so we have to keep on varying the frequency, and then we have to measure the gain. Okay, we have to calculate the gain offered by this circuit. Okay, so that gain can be calculated by calculating what is the V output voltage divided by the V input voltage. Okay, so I have already explained these things in detail in my first lecture about the your first order low pass filter. Okay, so I will be sharing the link in the description box. If you have any doubt, you can please go through that video lecture. That will be giving you more explanation about how to perform, how to get the frequency responses of the filters. Okay, so basically what we have to do is we have to vary the frequency. Okay, we have to first vary the frequency. So you can start with like 50 hertz or 10 hertz. Okay, if you start with the 10 hertz, fine. You can see I have to keep the input value like input peak to peak amplitude of the sinusoidal wave equals to 1 volt, just to make it simple for calculation. Okay, so if you keep it 1 volt, then whatever be the output, the output you will be getting, that output will become itself as a gain. Okay, voltage gain it will become directly. Okay, so that will be make you very easy calculation. Okay, so that's why I'm making it 500 millivolt peak value. Okay, or you can say it is V maximum. So peak to peak value will become 1 volt. Fine. So once you will substitute here frequency equals to 10 kilohertz, if you set this value, then we can go for the simulation. Okay. So once you will go for the simulation, a certain curve you are able to see here. So what we have to do is we have to properly select this time scale. Okay, so that the waveform should be visible properly. And again, we have to also select the our uh, voltage sensitivity. Okay, so we have to select the voltage sensitivity accordingly. So let's say just I'm changing the voltage sensitivity over here. Okay, of both the channels. Okay, I'm just keeping it 1 volt. Now you can see a certain waveform is appearing over here. Okay, so I have already explained we can measure the amplitude of this waveforms. Okay, very easily. We can easily calculate what is the amplitude of this waveform. Fine. So that can be calculated by, as I said, that we can stop it. Okay, then we can like bring this waveform here, then we can bring the pointers. Okay, and then we can hover onto this waveforms. Okay, and this will be reflecting you the voltages over here. Okay, that we can measure. Okay, but today I'm going to tell you one more simple method by which we can directly measure the voltage. Okay, so that will be, as far as your multisim is concerned. Okay, it will be more easy to directly get the values. Okay, and obviously we need to connect the oscilloscope, because I explained you in the last lectures about that. The waveform we have applied is our sinusoidal wave. So whenever it is passed through this low pass filter, the output should be a sinusoidal wave only. It should not be a distorted version. Okay, it should not be a distorted signal or any noise kind of signal. Okay, it should be a sinusoidal wave only. So that we have to confirm that we are getting the right output. Okay, and then only we have to measure the output. Okay, so I will be just keeping this oscilloscope to see the nature of the waveform. Okay, and now I will be using another instrument which is available in the multisim. Obviously, in the case of if you are doing this experiment in the laboratory, you can also use the multimeter. Okay, the same thing I am using here. Okay, I will be using this voltage probe. Okay, there is a facility of using the voltage probe, and this voltage probe you can go here and you can connect to this particular point. Okay, so this is our input. Okay, so here if you connect this voltage probe, okay, and anytime any point onto this particular line you can connect. Okay, this is the connecting wire. So here you can connect this voltage probe. Another voltage probe you can take and that should be connected to the output point. Okay, so now if you run this one, okay, you will find that there is a peak to peak value. Okay, that peak to peak value here you can see the input peak to peak value is 0.995 millivolt. Okay, so actually it is 1 volt. Maybe a little error is showing over here, but it is almost 1 volt that we are giving peak to peak value. Okay, now here you can see the peak to peak output voltage. Okay, this voltage we are interested in. Okay, peak to peak output voltage. So this voltage is 1.58. Fine. So here you can see I have kept the frequency equals to 10 hertz, and our V input peak to peak value is 0.995. I will be keeping it as 1 volt. Okay, because I have set it as 1 volt, and this voltage we are not going to vary. It will be remain constant. And here I am going to note down this value 1.58. Okay, so for this purpose I am using Excel sheet. Okay, so you just go to this Excel sheet. Okay, I have note down the results for frequency 1 hertz, 10 hertz, 50 hertz. These are the different frequencies that you can take for your experiment. So for all these frequency values we have to take the reading. Okay, because I have kept the V input peak to peak as a constant, I have noted down all the values equals to 111. Okay, now you can see for the 10 hertz, I have noted down the V output peak to peak value equals to 1.58. Okay, so this is, I have already this experiment I have already conducted. Okay, so just to save over time, so here you can see that for the frequency 10 hertz, I have got this V output peak to peak value equals to 1.5. Now, again, you can go to your simulator. Here you can stop it. You can go to the next value. The next value you can see after 10 hertz, we have to make it 50 hertz. Okay, so you just go to the simulator. Here you can make it 50 hertz. Okay, so make it 50 hertz and then again simulate it. Okay, so once you will simulate it again, you can see this value. Okay, it is 1.58 volt. Okay, the same thing you can measure from the oscilloscope also. Okay, so need not to worry about that whether we will be getting the same result or not. Obviously you are going to get the same result. Okay, so it is 1.58. So again we have to note it down against the 50 hertz frequency. So go back to your Excel sheet. For 50 hertz I have noted down 1.58. Okay, again we have to vary the frequency. Next value we have to take as 100 hertz. Okay, so go to this simulator, make it 100 hertz. Okay, this is 100 hertz, and then again you can see this one. Okay, So here you can see again this value is 1.58. It is not changing right now. Okay, because it is a low pass filter. Okay, frequency is very small, so it is not supposed to change. Okay, initially, so it is 1.58. So now when it is 1.58, again we have to note down the same reading. So it is 100 hertz, and now you can see this V output peak to peak is 1.58. Okay. Similarly, we have to obtain all the results. Okay, here I have tabulated all these results for this particular frequencies. Okay, you can conduct the experiment. You can see this data. You will be getting these readings. Okay, so for just for your satisfaction, I'm just showing you a few of them. Like for 400 hertz, you can see this V output peak to peak value will be equals to 1.57. Okay, so here I'm just making it 400 hertz. So you just make it 400 hertz and then you simulate it. Okay, once you will execute it, you are getting 1.57. Okay, accordingly here you can adjust your sensitivity, time sensitivity of the oscilloscope, so that you will be able to see the waveform properly. Okay, so now it is 1.57. Okay, so the same result I have tabulated over here, 1.57. You can again cross check for 700. Okay, so we can go to the 700. Fine. So if you make it 700 hertz, fine. You can again execute this. You will get 1.45. Okay, you can stop here. You can note down this value 1.45. So for 700, I have noted down this value is equals to 1.45. You remember that this 3 dB cutoff frequency for this filter is 1060 hertz. Okay, 1060 hertz. So whenever we are reaching towards the cutoff frequency, we have to take the close readings. Okay, we need to take the close reading. Okay, to get the smooth curve. Fine. So you can see at 1000, you can see it is 1.18. Okay, 1000, it is 1.18. Okay, so here you can go to this and you can make this 1000 hertz. Okay, and after that you can simulate it. You will be getting this particular value 1.18 volt. Okay, so you can note down this 1.18 volt. Here it is 1.18 volt we are getting. Now we can take another reading at 150. Okay, 1050 hertz. So I have made it 1050 hertz. Okay, this one, and then again you can execute it. Okay, so this way we are getting 1.13. If you go to 1060 hertz, you will be getting 1.12 and so on. So all these readings I have already noted down here. Okay, so these values I have already noted down. So you have to conduct this experiment while changing the frequency, and this frequency may go up to 5 kilohertz. Okay, that will be sufficient to obtain the frequency response curve for your second order low pass filter. So now after getting all this data, okay, after doing this experiment, what we have to do is we have to calculate the gain. As I said that because we are taking the V input peak to peak equals to 1, then V output peak to peak, whatever we are getting, that will directly become the gain, because gain is nothing but V output peak to peak divided by the V input peak to peak. Okay, and here I have calculated the gain in dB. Okay, that can be calculated by calculating like 20 log base 10. Okay, we log 10 base we have to take, and then we have to take the gain value. Okay, so I have explained this one. Okay, you can see the formula 20 log 10 and then this gain value. Okay, and then you can calculate this value. So after calculating this all gain values in the dB, okay, we have to go for the plotting. Okay, so how to plot this curve? We have to select all these frequency values. Okay, we have to select all these frequency values, and then we have to select the gain in dB. Okay, after selecting this one, you can go to the insert tab. Here you can find the charts, and from this chart you can take this particular curve. Okay, so after getting this one, you will be able to plot this curve, and here you can see you are going to get this type of curve. But I explained you that whenever we are plotting the frequency response curve, its frequency axis should be onto the log scale. Okay, so to make it log scale, you have to click onto that, and then you have to click the right click. Okay, and then go to the format axis, and then you can select this 1. Okay, logarithmic scale, this one. So that is going to give you the actual second order low pass filter frequency response curve. So here you can see that even from this table itself, we can see at the 3 dB cutoff point, what happens is the magnitude of the V output voltage will drop down by, means it will drop by 1 upon root 2 times. Okay. So if it is 1.58, then it should be divided by 1 upon root 2, means, okay, it should be divided by root 2, and then you will be getting around 1.12. Okay, so you can see here either it is 3 dB gain, you can see it is its gain is 3.97 right at this point. It is gain in the dB, so 3.97, and at 1060 you can see it is dropped to 0.98. So it is dropped by minus 3 dB. You can see it is 3.97 minus 0.98. Okay, so almost it is dropped by minus 3 dB. So what we can see, the 3 dB cutoff frequency, the filter that we have designed is for 1060 3 dB cutoff frequency, means 1060 hertz. Okay, and that we are also meeting in this particular experiment. Fine. So I hope this video lecture must be helpful for designing your low pass filter. You remember that this filter designing of a particular means specification is very important. Okay, because in the analog communication we have to multiple times we have to design the filters, okay, of different specification based on performing the different experiments. Okay, so because of that, this experiment is very basic and very important. Okay, once you will be able to understand this particular experiment, then only you can proceed further and you can design a new different experiments. So I hope this must be clear. If you have any doubt, you can drop your queries in the comment box, and I hope this must be clear. I will be coming up with the next video lecture with a particular new experiment. So thank you for watching